Origins of attitude formation determine how people in society negatively view people with disabilities. An attitude towards a person with a disability can be conditioned through witnessing how culture and society treat them. They can be viewed as dirty or useless due to their disability. Observing a peer or parent act negatively towards someone with a disability creates the same behavior being modeled later. The media plays a big part in observational attitude formation. People with disabilities are portrayed as unwell or worthless. Society tends to categorize people, and able-bodied people tend to disassociate themselves and treat people with disabilities differently due to their assumed incapacity. This leads to oppression. This means they are treated unjustly by people or other groups of people. In the past, people with disabilities were brutally treated and discarded off into institutions. Discrimination, abusive, and violent behaviour towards people with disabilities still happens today. Oppression for people with disabilities can be broken down into 5 components under Young's models. Oppression, which is intentional or unintentional behaviour that makes people with disabilities feel less human. Exploitation, when actions towards people with disabilities include exploitation or theft. Marginalisation, when people with disabilities become invisible because their social status from being seen as inferior. Cultural imperialism, when society assumes that a person with a disability is deviant or harmful. Violence, when people unprovokingly attack a person with a disability or their property, which is intended to humiliate or damage. We have moved forward in awareness and education about disability, but exclusion still exists. It starts as early as school when children are excluded from classrooms. They are segregated and removed from the other children. Society has strong beliefs and values on what they perceive as normal. A person with a disability is seen as an economic disadvantage because the way society reacts to their impairment with fear and dislike. They are seen as inferior, not able to complete tasks effectively, and are less productive than someone who is able-bodied. Oppression is even prevalent from a government's perspective. Disabled people often die within weeks of having their benefits changed or taken away. With growing economies, everything is portrayed as profitable. A person with a disability is now a difficulty and a big cost for someone to employ. People with a disability are seen as useless in society now. They're viewed as some type of cheap labour due to their disability. Society denies them appropriate employment, social integration and equality. They are now forced into low-paid and underskilled jobs. Within the job market, people with disabilities are more likely to be turned down for jobs. There are organisations that aim to employ disabled people as a solution for the discrimination, but they are segregated and put into unpleasant working conditions. People with disabilities should not have to fight so hard for inclusion. They are paid low but have higher expenses for living. Therefore, it is impossible for them to reach over the poverty line. Thank you.